So today we're going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to have my friend Bar from BarTube with me doing a collaboration, and we're going to do the top 5 characters that have gone missing in a Game of Thrones or a Song of Ice and Fire, and kind of go over just a little bit about who they are and where they may be, and will they possibly return. And this should be relatively spoiler-free if you're caught up with the show, although this could lead to some speculation about where they may be, if they may show back up, that type of thing. So with that said, ladies first, let me kick it over to Bar for number 5.
Hey everyone, Chris, thank you for having me. To everyone watching, my name is Bar, and I do television and book reviews. I do a lot of A Song of Ice and Fire and Game of Thrones content. Today's episode is especially interesting because I would love to find out where these people are. At number 5, I picked Tysha, Tyrion Lannister's first wife. When Tyrion was young, he saw this girl being attacked by some guys, and he and Jaime helped her, and then she fell in love with Tyrion and they got married, blah blah blah. After that, his father Tywin told him that this was all a setup and she was just a whore. And then he forced Tyrion to watch as a group of soldiers raped her, and then he made Tyrion rape her after that. On the show, Tyrion killed Tywin because he said whore. In the books, he found out about Tysha, that she wasn't really a whore. Jaime was asked by Tywin to lie about it, and then he confessed the truth when he let Tyrion escape. This put Tyrion in a very angry state of mind. And after he kills his dad, he goes around with this question, where do whores go? Because he asked his dad, where is she? And he said, wherever whores go. So Tyrion just comes up to people randomly and he asks them, where do whores go? Expecting that someday someone might give him the proper answer. This is a very important point in Tyrion's life. This is a life-altering event that cannot be ignored. It has been mentioned on the show, by the way. It has been mentioned, I think it was around series 2, when he talked to Bronn and Shay in the tent. But since then, it has been dropped, and that's it. It's like they forgot about it. And it's so important to understand Tyrion because of that. That really messed him up.
And number 4 for me would be Stone Snake. Now, Stone Snake in the show is a relatively minor character. He's kind of played by an extra. He is the guy in the Night's Watch sent out by Lord Commander Mormont, along with Qhorin Halfhand, a couple other guys, and Jon Snow, to kind of spy on the wildlings and find out what's going on when they go on their great ranging up north after Benjen Stark goes missing. He was part of a 100-man reinforcement group from the Shadow Tower, who was ordered to come to the Fist of the First Men, where they set up camp before they sent out these ranging parties. And in the book, Qhorin Halfhand picks Stone Snake, a guy named Evan, a guy named Dalbridge, and Jon Snow to go on this little quest to go up north to an area called the Skirling Pass to locate the wildlings. And in the book, Stone Snake actually leads the expedition in the Skirling Pass, and they come across some wildlings and ambush them, and that's when they came across 3 wildlings and they killed 2 of them, and the third one was Ygritte, which ended up being Jon Snow's girlfriend. And to keep a long story short, Stone Snake's horse breaks his leg after being kind of spooked by a shadow cat, and he is ordered by Qhorin Halfhand to take foot and go back to the Fist of the First Men and inform Lord Commander Mormont what they've seen and everything they know about the wildlings and where they're moving to. And I believe that in the books was in A Clash of Kings. So in the following book, A Storm of Swords, Mance Rayder asks Rattleshirt, or as the show calls him, the Lord of Bones, about what crows they saw and that type of thing, and he reports that they killed most of them, but they did see one scaling a rock wall and was able to escape. And later on, Jon also recalls Stone Snake as well and his ability to climb when they were actually climbing the wall, and seems to remember that he's still kind of missing and unaccounted for. Now, he could be simply presumed dead, and that's certainly a possibility, but Halfhand also kind of says when he commands him to go afoot and go back to the Fist of the First Men, if any man of the Night's Watch can make it through the Frostfang alone and afoot, it is you, brother. So he was well renowned for his climbing ability, being strong for his age and that type of thing. Although he's not a major character, George R. Martin may have possibly left this open for him to return later. And I don't think that would be necessarily a huge role, but he could have easily kind of came across some wildlings, killed them, and kind of slipped into their clothing and kind of slipped into the wildling herd. That may come into play later if he comes back, helps Jon, since at this point he's become Lord Commander, and now, of course, he's been potentially killed. Now, I don't fully expect that because, again, in the show, they kind of made him a relatively minor character. And even in the books, he's a minor character, I would say. But it was kind of noted that he's unaccounted for. And, of course, in the Game of Thrones, unless you see their head come off, they're not really dead.
At number 3, I pick Howland Reed. Howland Reed was a very good friend of Ned Stark. Howland Reed sent Mira and Jojen Reed to Bran in order to help him. He was fond of Lyanna, Ned Stark's little sister, as well. Howland Reed is pretty much the only one who knows about the history of the Tower of Joy that talks a lot about Jon Snow's parentage. We're probably going to have a flashback towards that time, probably through Bran. This character is very, very interesting. George R. Martin said that he will make an appearance in The Winds of Winter, so I wonder where, who is he going to talk to, and what's he going to say.
And number 2 on our list of missing characters in A Song of Ice and Fire for me would be Benjen Stark. Now obviously this brings up a lot of debate. You know, Benjen is the brother of Ned Stark, who originally kind of tried to talk Jon out of going to the Night's Watch being so young. So of course Benjen famously disappeared as First Ranger and has not been seen since season 1. It's basically the same in the books, and there's just a lot of debate on where he possibly is. Now of course we all know from the books and the show that they found 2 of his companions who were on the ranging with him when he disappeared. So then of course we come to the part where they go north to the Fist of the First Men, and Jon, or technically Ghost in the books, sniffs out where they find the buried dragon glass and a horn wrapped in what people believe to be Benjen Stark's cloak. It was noted that it had not been buried very long, so that indicates that at some point Benjen Stark had been there, maybe because he knew what the dragon glass was capable of. Also with this horn, which may or may not be the Horn of Winter, which is something that's been omitted from the show except for just seeing a small horn laying there. So yeah, there's a lot of speculation on where Benjen Stark is and if he's dead or alive. Some people would presume him dead, but I don't think so personally. I don't think that George R. Martin's going to leave that loose end there for no apparent reason. I believe that he's alive somewhere, maybe in the land of always winter. There was a lot of speculation that perhaps he's a character in the books called Cold Hands, but it's been confirmed by George R. Martin himself that that is not Benjen Stark. And there's a lot of people that speculate that perhaps he's now a White Walker or an other, and perhaps even the Night's King that we see in the show that has this stare down with Jon. A lot of speculation on where Benjen Stark is and if he's still alive, and we'll see what happens.
At number 1 we have Garyon Lannister. He is Tywin's younger brother. They had a turbulent relationship, and at some point Garyon went to search for the Lannister ancestral sword. It's a Valyrian steel sword called Bright War. And over 10 years since he has gone to look for that sword, he hasn't returned. People have a lot of theories about what happened to him and where he is at. Some people even think that he is the Shrouded Lord. Maybe he's the Corsair King. Maybe he's dead, but I don't think so. I think we'll get to see him again sometime in the story. And he's probably never going to find that sword. Chris, thanks again for having me. If you guys want to see us collaborate a little bit more, maybe do a live hangout, make sure to write it in the comment section. You can check out my video on my channel. Give this video a thumbs up, and thanks for watching.
Thank you so much, Bar, for doing this collaboration with me on Smokescreen. I really appreciate it, and I hope we do a lot more in the future. I have the link in the description below to her channel. Please check her stuff out, subscribe. She has a lot of great Game of Thrones, A Song of Ice and Fire theories, chapter analysis, really good breakdowns, research she puts into her videos. So please check out her channel, subscribe as well. In the meantime, we also did another collaboration on her channel, and that was the top 5 people cut from Game of Thrones but are in A Song of Ice and Fire, and I was glad to be a part of that. So you can click here for that video, and that will be on Bar's channel. Thanks again, you guys. Let us know what you think in the comments below about these missing characters and you think they'll return. Don't forget to subscribe to get everything. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks again, Bar. We'll see you next time.